Welcome back, YouTube. Sensei Domino here. Welcome to the Spine Ticks After Party. Got some great stuff to share with you tonight. I have some friend mail, some eBay pickups, including some great autographs. I'll be showing the rest of the 1974 Topps Baseball starter set. And I'll also be showing a small group of 1979 Topps Baseball. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the friend mail. So this first one came in today, and this one's from Scott at Reindeer Studios. Oh, that's awesome. So it says Reindeer. If you haven't checked out Reindeer Studios channel, definitely go check it out. He's an absolutely amazing artist and absolutely love his content. Oh, whoa. So it says just, hold on, look at this picture. This is awesome. Oh, that's so cool. So it says, just like a bowl of Wheaties fuels superstars on the field, I hope this season fuels your spirit with health and happiness. May your days be merry and the glow of the season be as bright as the stadium lights on a starry night. Hey, Tony, I hope this finds you well and that you have a very Merry Christmas. Your pal, Scott. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I love this. Thank you so much, Scott. Very thoughtful. And wow, look at this. Hold on. Looks like there's two in here. Look at that. That's so cool. Hand signed. Ink wash and digital painted in 2023 for Inktober. Scan for video if you want to check out the video. There you go. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, wow. That's really cool. That's Hal K-Line. Again, signed. Love this. Ink wash painted in 2020. There's the you want to scan for the video, there you go, QR code. Wow, very cool. Thank you so much, Scott. This is absolutely amazing. So we got K-Line and we got Ramirez. Look at that. Those are so cool. Wow. Thank you so much, Scott. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas as well, you and your family. And thank you so much for thinking of me. Absolutely love these cards and love your reindeer card as well. This is so cool. I gotta take a look at this again. Look at that. That's so cool. All right. Next, we have a card from Boyd. Let me see if I can get into this. That's sealed really well. There we go. Now I'm in. And Boyd does the pre-show for Spine Ticks. If you haven't checked out Boyd's channel, definitely go check it out. Amazing content, great guy. And happy to see that he's back. He took a couple months back, so a couple months off a while back, and he's now back. So really excited to have him back doing content. So let me see the front. So we got Deck the Halls. Oh, whoa. May you have a holiday that's jolly, merry, and bright. Sincerely, Boyd and Michelle. Boyd channel sticker. Look at that. That's so cool. Very cool. Thank you so much, Boyd and Michelle. I appreciate it. Hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I look forward to seeing your pre-show tomorrow night. All right, moving on to some eBay pickups. Go ahead and start. I haven't been picking up a whole lot lately, at least over the last probably 3 weeks. Just something here and there. Um, with the holidays, being upon us, I don't have the disposable income that I would normally have in a regular month. So basically I planned for this, and that's why I bought some of these starter sets. Plus, I was interested in getting them anyway. But it gives me plenty of content over the next couple weeks until I can get some more spending money. But definitely happy to get these cards that I'm showing here. So as I've mentioned several times, I'm trying to build up the teams for the 32-33 Ashes between England and Australia. That's cricket, if you don't know. And I'll be doing a video on the Ashes tour during 32 and 33. It's called the Bodyline series. And so I've been picking up some cards when I can. And these are actually two cards of individuals that I did not have a card of up to this point. And so really happy to get these. I now have two more cards to go to complete both teams. And the two cards that I need, one individual I think only has 3 or 4 cards, and they're really hard to come by in good condition. So I've been holding off. Plus, they seem really expensive, overpriced. And so I've held off on those. And then the other one only has 1 card. And that 1 card isn't even listed as a single. There are a couple listings that have them listed. One is a complete set, and I don't need it for like $160 or something. And another one is like a group of like 10, and it's like $100. So, yeah, I don't need either of those lots of cards. I just want that one single. So, holding out hope that one of those appears sometime eventually. And then there's actually one other individual that participated in the series that doesn't have a card at all, at least not that I know of. And the one that I just mentioned, I actually didn't think he had a card until I discovered he actually had one. So there is a chance that this last individual actually has a card. I just haven't seen it, or it's not listed in trading card database. That's always a possibility. But as of right now, I don't think he has a card. So maybe I can find a photo or something like that. But anyway, enough rambling. Let me go ahead and show you these two cards. These are from 1934-35 Allen's Cricketers. This is the Irish Moss Gum Jubes back. This right here is L.E. Nagel. And these are great looking cards. At the first sign of a cold, take Allen Irish Moss Gum Jubes. You can feel them doing you good. Sold in 3D and 6D packets. So really happy to finally have a card of this individual. And this one as well. This one is LPJ O'Brien. And this is also from the same set. Again, a great image. And there's the back. And both of these showed up in pretty nice shape. Probably a mid-grade or so. No creases. So really happy to get these and add them to my collection. All right, next. This next card, I've actually wanted to pick this up for a while. It's sort of been on my watch list, and finally, I was finally able to find one at a decent price that wasn't too terribly beat up. This, I think it has a minor wrinkle on it, but outside of that, it's in pretty nice shape. It doesn't have too many surface issues. The back looks pretty nice. But this is from the 1934 National Chickle Skybird set. And it's Roland Garros. Now, Roland Garros has a stadium named after him in France. It's the Roland Garros Stadium. Is where they play the French Open. But Roland Garros wasn't a tennis player. He was actually an aviator. In fact, if you look on the back, it actually says he was the father of air dueling. And he was also the first to equip a plane with a machine gun to shoot between the blades of a revolving propeller. And I was actually reading into that, and he actually, came up with the technology to be able to shoot a machine gun through the propeller without actually hitting the propeller. But the interesting story is he was actually shot down at one point, and he ended up getting captured by the Germans, I believe, and he ended up as a POW for 3 years, and eventually he ended up escaping. But let me backtrack a little bit. Once the Germans recovered him, they actually took the technology for the machine gun shooting through the propeller and actually took it to their best engineer, and they actually came up with a little bit better version of what Roland Garros had come up with. And for a time, they actually say that Germany ended up with the upper hand in the war, and eventually Roland Garros ended up escaping. But within the year of him escaping, he was actually shot down and killed in the air, obviously, by somebody using the technology that they discovered when he had crashed a few years earlier, and then them obviously using the technology for themselves. So kind of ironic, but fantastic, fantastic card. Really happy to get this. And, Roland Garros was actually stated as being the first ace in history. But according to what I was reading, an ace actually is considered somebody that's had 5 kills, where Roland Garros actually only had 4. So he technically wasn't the first ace, as they say. It was actually, I believe, another Frenchman. But Roland Garros, obviously, contributed quite a bit to, I guess, shooting from, an airplane. And yeah, it's kind of interesting how, he has nothing to do with tennis, yet a tennis stadium is named after him. So anyway, really happy to get this card. There's the back. It just looks like a really nice looking card. Let me see if I can find the little wrinkle. I know it's on here somewhere. It's really faint. I think it's right here, but you really can't see it. Anyway, really happy to get this card, and Roland Garros definitely has an interesting story, and really happy to get this and add it to the collection. All right, so next, I've actually had these cards for about a month, but haven't really had a chance to show them as of yet. A lot of these are Hall of Famers. I would say most of these are Hall of Famers. There's a little bit of hockey, couple football, one basketball, one baseball. Some fantastic names, and some of these might TTM, but most of them don't. Uh, let's go ahead and get started. I'll start with the hockey. So first we have a 1988-89 Topps. It's Mark Howe, signed. All of these are signed. It's in fantastic shape. Great looking autograph. Little off center on the back. Really happy to finally get a Mark Howe autograph into the collection. This next guy as well. I was a pretty big fan of this guy, John LeClaire. I think this is, 1994 Pro Hockey Prospects by Classic. Here he is with the Canadiens. Looks a little streaky on the autograph, but I don't mind. Still really happy to get a John LeClair autograph. Hall of Famer. As is Mark Howe. Next, I have to give a shout out to Slappy. One of Slappy's favorites right here. Although I know he had some issues with management and contract negotiations and all sorts of other stuff, but definitely one of the best to play for Ottawa. And we have Alexei Yashin. And this is, again, Pro Hockey Prospects, 1994 Classic. This one's all rookie, signed by Yashin, rookie sensation. So I guess this is like a pre-rookie, whatever you want to call it. And this next one is from 2003-2004. This is Upper Deck MVP. And also Alexei Yashin. This one's signed in blue. And here he is playing for the New York Islanders. Looks like his second year, I guess going into his third year with the Islanders. Again, another Hall of Famer. Next, being a Stars fan, definitely happy to get this. These are, I guess, this first one is kind of like a pre-rookie, I guess. This is 94-95 Classic Hockey. This is Yuri Lettinen, who I'm pretty sure is in the Hall of Fame as well. Definitely an interesting autograph. Kind of like a scribble almost. Can't really make anything out with that, but it looks like a full signature, and I'll take that over initials any day. And I do have another Lettinen autograph. I'm not sure what this came out of. This is Score. This is 96-97 Score. But if you look at it, it's perforated. So I'm not sure. I mean, this must have been pulled out of something, maybe a magazine or something. I'm not really sure. But yeah, kind of an interesting card, and signed with a fine point Sharpie. Again, with a nice scribble right there, but still really happy to get a couple Lettinen autographs. And this one's a big one for me. Probably my favorite hockey player of the modern era, being a Stars fan. And really happy to finally get an autograph of this guy into my collection. Unfortunately, this one's got a little bit of damage on the top, and I think this happened in shipping, unfortunately. But I don't mind. This card's going to stay in my collection, so it doesn't really matter. I believe this is 97-98 Donruss Limited, or Leaf Limited. Sorry. And it's Mike Modano. It looks fantastic with this foil surface of the card. Just really stands out, but I don't know if you can see on the top, it kind of crimped in the envelope. Unfortunately, you can see it a little bit better on the back. Yes, I mean, it very well could have happened like that in the pack, but I'm sort of guessing that happened in shipping. It's a little disappointing that happened to the Modano, but still really happy to get an autograph of his into the collection. And just fantastic autograph right there. All right, so that's all of the hockey. Next, we'll move to basketball. And was a really big fan of this guy. He started his career with the Mavericks, and I absolutely hated when he got traded, and they really didn't get much of anything for him. So, sort of a bad deal to begin with. He did end up with a really nice career. Um, Not a Hall of Famer, but had a high scoring average, probably in the 18, 17, 18 range for his career, without me looking. Um, but he was a high scorer with Dallas. He was one of the big three, or I guess the three J's is what they were called. Um, and I did not have this individual's autograph, so really happy to get this. Unfortunately, he's in the wrong jersey, but I got it for a nice price. I'm really happy to add this autograph to the collection. And it's Jamal Mashburn, Monster Mash. He was really fun to watch when he was healthy. But they ended up trading him to the Miami Heat for Kurt Thomas, who I don't even think he played a game for Dallas. I think he was hurt the whole time he was here, and then signed a contract with somebody else. But he was like, I guess, sort of a token assistant coach for a little bit while he was here. And they also got Sasha Danilovic, who was really good when he was here. I think he averaged like 16 or 17 points a game in the half season he was here. Then he ended up going back overseas and playing, so he didn't stick around very long. And I guess the best player they got from that trade was Martin Mercep. And you're like, who's Martin Mercep? And exactly. That's why this trade didn't exactly work out. But still remember that trade to this day, and just really wish that Mashburn had stayed here a little bit longer. And it's unfortunate that he got traded, but there was some stuff going on with that team, and the chemistry wasn't very good. And so, I mean, I guess I understand it, but just a really good talent, and he really didn't get a chance to shine here in Dallas for very long. He ended up making an all-star team. I want to say he was with the Hornets at the time, but I think that was the only all-star appearance that he made. So, I mean, I guess a one-time all-star, but a great scorer and a great player, and I really enjoyed watching him. So, really happy to add that card to the collection. All right, next I have a couple of football autographs. Oh, sorry. Let me tell you the year. This is a 98, 99 Skybox Premium. Sorry about that. So this next card, this is 1970, I believe. Yeah, 1970 Topps. And I had this guy's rookie card, really beat up condition when I was a kid. And so I sort of like this player. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame, but a great running back. And I think he was a multiple-time Pro Bowler, if I remember right. And it looks like he was the Rookie of the Year in '64. And so he had a pretty nice career. And this guy does TTM. I've been wanting to pick up some cards and send them off to him because I don't have any cards of his in my collection anymore. But then I saw this for a really nice price and decided to pick it up. Unfortunately, when it got here, I realized why it wasn't why it was so cheap, because it's got a nasty crease in it. But still really happy to get his autograph into the collection. And it's Matt Snell. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is a nasty crease that goes straight from this edge to that edge. Right across here. I don't know if it'll pick up, but it's right there. Maybe it'll pick up better on the... No, you're not going to see it on the back, but there's the back. And he does have a really nice autograph, easy to read. And so really happy to get Matt Snell's autograph into the collection. I'd still like to pick up a few more cards and send off a TTM to him at some point, but happy with this one for now for sure. All right, next, this one is a 1997 Upper Deck, but I'm not sure what set this actually is. This is kind of one of those legend sets. And I can't tell you which set it is. But this is definitely a legend, an all-time great, one of the greatest receivers of his era, if not the greatest receiver of his era. And really happy to finally get this guy's autograph into the collection. I think I have one actual playing days card of this individual. Unfortunately, this one's not on a playing days card, obviously. I would have loved to have found an autograph on a playing days card, and I'd still like to pick up one at some point, but really happy to get this on this kind of a, what do you want to call it? Like a throwback card, but still really happy to get this anyway. This is Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch. Yeah, it's just a fantastic image. He signed it Crazy Legs Hirsch. Unfortunately, Mr. Hirsch is no longer with us, so he's not signing too many autographs anymore. So really happy to get this. Just an absolute legend in his day. He set many records, and he truly was one of the greats of the game. And he's not talked about near as much as he should be. But really happy to get a Crazy Legs Hirsch autograph into the collection. Again, I apologize for not knowing what set this is. It's obviously Upper Deck, but I'm not sure. Upper Deck Legends or something. Who knows? But it says right there on the back. Nicknamed Crazy Legs because of his knack for eluding tacklers. Elroy Hirsch was the most exciting player in football during the 1950s. Hopefully you can see that. As one of the pioneers of the over-the-shoulder catch, he once set an NFL record by catching a touchdown pass in 11 straight games. It says right there he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in '68, led the NFL in touchdowns and receptions in '51, and named 3 Pro Bowls. And he didn't have a very long career. He played from 49 to 57, so a 9-year career. But that was more than enough to get him enshrined into the Hall of Fame. So really, really happy to get this autograph into the collection. This is definitely one of my favorite autographs in my collection. Just an absolute legend. And this last one is a legend as well. And shout out to Scott at Reindeer Studios. Big Cleveland Indians fan, Cleveland franchise fan. And this guy is one of the greatest pitchers ever to play the game. Unfortunately, this is one of the more modern cards for the individual. This is from 1991. This is the Homer's Classic Collection, but it's signed. And again, this guy is no longer with us, so he's not signing any more autographs. This is now the third Bob Feller autograph I have in my collection, but this is the first one on a card. So really happy to get this, even on a throwback card. But man, he was one of the greatest pitchers of his era and one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And so really, really, really happy to get this autograph, especially on a card. And I'm a huge, huge fan of Bob Feller. And really happy to get another autograph of his into the collection because I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. Maybe it's because too much time has passed since his career, but he was definitely one of the greatest in history. And you look at the prices of his cards, and the hobby. The prices that the hobby have on his cards, I guess, don't reflect the type of player that he was. And, I think that's sort of a shame. But you know what? That makes the cards a little easier to get for me. So I'll definitely be adding a few Bob Feller cards to my collection when the money allows. But for now, I've just been picking up his autographs here and there. And like I said, this is the third one that I have. So really happy to add that to the collection. So that is the last of the eBay pickups. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing those. And I apologize for some rambling. All right, moving on to the 1974 Top Starter set. Last week, I stopped at card number 400. And so I'll show the second half of this little starter set. What I realized is that I didn't pull out the cards that I had for my. I'm collecting a few players runs: Carl Yastrzemski, Billy Williams, and Orlando Cepeda. And I did not pull out the 74 cards that I had within those player runs, and so I wanted to go ahead and show those before I show the rest. So here is the Carl Yastrzemski, 1974. Now I have shown these cards before on my channel, but just to kind of show them along with this starter set that I have because for now these are going to go into the starter set. And here's the Billy Williams. I do kind of like that image, even if it looks like he swung and missed. But maybe not. I'm just kind of looking at where his head is, and it doesn't look like he made contact. But maybe he did. Who knows? Really cool image, though. There's the back. And I also have this all-star with the great Reggie Jackson and Billy Williams. And it looks like Bobby Bonds is the puzzle on the back. All these are in really nice shape. Really happy with the condition of all of these. All right. So on to the rest of the starter set. As I said the last time, some of these will have to be replaced at some point, but most of them are fairly nice. As I said, especially the early '70s sets. I'm okay with sort of a mid-grade. I don't want any creases. I don't really want any bad surface damage or something like that. I haven't really worried too much about centering or anything like that. Corners, as long as the corners aren't just really tore up, I guess it's acceptable for me. But the vast majority of these are in pretty nice shape. I'd guess that there's probably maybe 100 cards left to show. I'll show the backs of a few of them just to get started. But again, most of the backs are just standard backs. There's not too much to see other than the little I guess little comic image or whatever. Outside of that, they're all pretty much the same. But I will flip over any of the cards that are notable if there are any. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with Jim Wolford. Again, these are 1974 tops. I actually have two of this, so I'll have to look and see which one's better. But this is Ike Brown. This one already looks a little fuzzy. But this one you can actually see the cut of the card. You can see the little dots. So I don't know. I'll keep one of them though. I always love these batting cage shots. It just looks fantastic. Go ahead and show you the back. Next we have Pedro Borbon. Next we have a couple Chuck Taylors. Next we have the Chicago White Sox. That's cool. It's got all the team records. Always love these team photos like this in sets. Next we have Jim Beauchamp. Next we have Bobby Bolin. Let's look at the imagery on some of these. Just fantastic. Next we have Chris Arnold. You can see a few people in the stands. I'm guessing this is before the game, obviously, and not too many fans there yet. Next we have Laren LeGros. Next, we have Jim Little. Next, we have Ed Herman. Next, Tom Ragland. Next, we have Alan Foster. I have two of these, but this one's severely miscut. But I did watch a video that Pepino did last week, or this week, I guess, where he was talking about why he loves collecting these miscut cards. Yeah, I know few people like to collect these miscut cards. Me, not. I mean, I'm sort of indifferent about them. I don't seek them out, but I don't mind when they they appear in my collection. But this one will probably be the one that goes in the starter set. Next, we have George Medich. Next, we have a couple of Ron Hodges. Next, Rich Hebner. This one's pretty miscut. I mean, it's all like this corner right here. That's all right. It's pretty sharp. Yeah, the back, you can kind of see the edge of that card right there. That's all right. It's a cool background. Next, we have Gene Heiser. Next, we have Ballard Moore. Or Baylor. Not sure. Bring back the Expos. Next, we have Kurt Bavacqua, who is the bubble blowing champ of 76 or whatever. I still want to get that card at some point. I'm sure I'll get it eventually if I end up building that set. Next, we have Chuck Goggin. This one does have some corner wear, but not too bad. Next, we have Jim Ray. Next, this one's nice to have a couple doubles of. Cincinnati Reds. Right at the start of their big red machine run. So there's definitely some nice players there. Rose, Bench, Concepcion, Perez, Griffey. Definitely some nice players on this team. All right, next we have Jose Cruz. Always been a fan of Jose Cruz. Looks like his third or fourth year. Next we have Dick Billings. Next we have Joe Decker. Next, Jerry Terrell. Or Terrell. Again, love the background. This one's a little fuzzy. Next, we have Bob Didier. Next, Carmen Fan Zone. That's a pretty cool last name. Next, we have Steve Stone, who I grew up watching as the teammate, I guess you can call him, of Harry Carey on WGN. And really enjoyed his commentary. And he was a pretty nice pitcher as well. This has got to be early in his career. Maybe not. Third or fourth year. Next, we have Danny Murtaugh. And we got Mazeroski right there. Legendary TTMer. Murtaugh was a nice manager. Next, we have a couple of Roger Nelsons. Both of them are pretty miscut, but this one's definitely worse. You can see the top edge of the next card on that. Yeah, this one's pretty bad as well. But I guess this one would stay in the starter set. Okay, I'm going to butcher this one. Mike Rogodzinski. Rogodzinski, who knows? One of the two. Next, Ed Goodson. Dick McAuliffe. Next, we have Pat Corrales, who was a nice manager. Next, we have Rusty Torres. Another great image right there. Next, we have Eric Soderholm. Next, we have Larry Stahl. Next, we have Paul Schall. Next, we have Willie Montanez. Next, we have Mike Hegan. Next, we have Daryl Thomas. Next, we have Bobby Darwin. This next one, Eddie Watt. Now, I just saw a video that John Mangini put out. And apparently, not only is Eddie Watt a great TTMer, but from what he was saying, Mr. Watt was also a card collector. And unfortunately, he lost all of his cards in a natural disaster. And John Mangini actually came up with an idea of helping Eddie Watt try to accumulate some of his collection again. And I definitely plan on sending a couple cards to Mr. Watt with a TTM request. And, if I can help, this guy build his collection back, I'd be more than happy to. He's been a great TTMer for a long time. I've never sent to him, but I know from several other TTM channels that he's always gracious with his time. And, it's kind of the least that I can do, being a TTMer, to send him a couple cards to try to help him build up his collection again. And so, I thought I would pass that information along to any other TTMers that might be watching this video. If you just look for John Mangini's channel, great channel, by the way, if you haven't ever watched it, just one of the greatest collections on YouTube, hands down. But he does have a video that he posted recently about Mr. Watt, so definitely go over there and check it out if you want more information. And Mr. Watt's address is on the sports card forum. So anyway, moving on to the next one, we have Duffy Dyer, who I think might be a good TTMer himself. Next, we have Steve Mangori. Next, we have Cesar Tovar. Next, we have Lloyd Allen. Next, we have Bob Robertson. All right, next, we have a Hall of Famer, Goose Gossage. Now, I actually have this card in much better shape than this center-wise anyway. I do have this card autographed. Mr. Gossage is a great TTMer. He's only one per, otherwise he charges. And I sent this off to get signed, and he graciously signed it. So I don't mind having this one. Doesn't look like it has any creases or anything. I don't mind having this in the little starter set because I do have a card signed in much better condition than this. So still, let me go ahead and show you the back. This is actually Gossage's second year. His rookie is 73. So kind of cool to get a second copy of this card. Next, we have Billy Canigliaro, who I believe is the brother of Tony. I wonder if it says. It doesn't say on the back, but at one point he signed with the Red Sox. So I would guess this is Tony Canigliaro's brother. And I'm not going to tell you the story of Tony Canigliaro, but if you're interested, just look up Tony Canigliaro and you'll find out about his story. I'll save that for when I'm showing a Tony Canigliaro card because I don't have any in my collection. Definitely would like to pick up his rookie card, but you want to talk about an amazing player when he first hit the league. Yeah, Tony Canigliaro. But I do believe this is his brother. Next, we have Sonny Seibert. Next, Mike Jorgensen. Again, a pretty nasty miscut. Good old 70s quality control. I still think this is better than 73 is. 73 is atrocious. 75 isn't much better. This is Sam McDowell. Next, we have Vaughn Joshua. Next, we have Woody Fryman. Next, Jim McLaughlin. Next, we have Daryl Cheney. Next, Ed Kranepool. Next, we have Milt Wilcox. Next, we have Mike Torres. Enzo Hernandez. And I mentioned in my previous video that they actually did two different versions of the Padres cards because I guess it was rumored that San Diego would be moving to Washington. And so there is a separate version of these cards where it said Washington, and I guess National League down here. But the Padres never moved, so yeah. So I guess I guess you got to give credit for Topps for kind of covering themselves just in case the Padres didn't end up moving. But the fact that they didn't, it makes those kind of a little bit cooler, I guess, to have a version, of something that actually never happened. So especially like the McCovey, I'd love to get the McCovey that says Washington National League. As of right now, I do not have any Washington National League Padres cards, but would definitely like to pick up a few in the future. Next, we have Mike Adams. Next we have Cecil Upshaw. Next we have Jim Spencer. Next, Fred Norman. Next we have Marty Patton. Next, Ken Rudolph. Next we have Larry Christensen. I might butcher this. Rogeletto Moret. Next we have Ed Bain. Next we have a couple of Leroy Stanton. Next, this was a nice picture right here, Steve Blass. And I love this image. Really happy to get this card. Actually wanted to pick this one up for a while. I love the imagery, and Blast is a great signer. I would love to probably pick up another copy of this to get signed, and a few other cards of his. Send them off to him in a TTM and get them signed. But yeah, Blast was awesome. Really cool image right there. Next we have Rick Stelmasic. Next we have Adrian Devine. Next we have Johnny Jeter. Next we have Larry Gura. Now, I mentioned in my last video, I do not believe the 1974 set has a high series. I believe it was all released at one time. But yeah, I would have to double check that. But I'm pretty sure that it was all released at one time. I do not think that there are high numbers. We have Al Downing, who was a pretty nice pitcher. I'll go ahead and show the back of this one. Next we have Bernie Carbo, who was a nice player as well. Looks like he had just joined the Red Sox on this one, because the last stats he has are for the Cardinals. Next we have Carl Taylor. Next we have Ivan Morel. Next we have Steve Barber. Next we have John Edwards. Next we have Dave Goltz. Next we have Ken Sanders. Just a couple cards left to go. Next we have Juan Beniquez. This one looks pretty early in his career, second or third year. One thing 74 Topps did have is a traded set. And I do have one card for that, but I'm not really trying to build the traded set anyway. There's a couple cards I'd like to have. I think the Marischal, but not really targeting those, and wouldn't have to have these to consider the set complete. But I do have Horatio Pena. But this is the only one I have, and the back definitely looks different. It's got the little baseball news and tells about the trade, whereas this one's got stats and a little cartoon. But anyway, that's the 1974 starter set. As I said in the last video, I probably have I don't know, maybe a third of the set, be my guess. So a long way to go if I were to build this, but would definitely like to in the future at some point. And there are some fairly nice rookie cards in this set, but I don't think there's anything like super big uh, in it that I would have to worry about. So uh, definitely like to put that together slowly, slowly over time. But all right, moving on to this next stack. This is very small. Um, that's all I have, but this is 1979 tops. I guess I do have a couple cards that I had in my collection that are top loaded that I'll go ahead and start with. Obviously, the big card in the set is the Ozzie Smith rookie, and I do have this, and it's not quite centered. This card is notorious for centering issues, and you'll pay a premium for one that's really centered. But this one's pretty sharp. Really happy to get this. I did have this card as a kid. It passed through my collection. Um, Traded it off to somebody for who knows what, probably some junk wax garbage. But yeah, happy to have this back in my collection, and it's here to stay now. Now they do have Burger King cards that were put out for this set. That, as far as I know, most of them look very similar to their regular cards. It's just numbered differently. And I do have both versions of this Mike Schmidt, but this is the regular set version. This one's numbered at 610. I think the one that I had was like number 16 or something. But yeah, there's the Mike Schmidt. I have the George Brett. Reggie. Willie McCovey. Back with the Giants. I guess this is like his third year back with the Giants. Next we have Joe Morgan. Did I show the back of the McCovey? I'm not sure I did. There we go. And was always a fan of this guy, so I picked up his rookie card. This is Carney Lansford. Growing up as a collector in the mid to late 80s, um, the A's teams were just, you know, dominating, although they only won one World Series, I guess, 1989, but they still had just a juggernaut lineup. Carney Lansford was one of the top of the order bats that they had, and I remember he used to always like shake his bat. I thought his batting stance was really cool, and was a fan of Lansford. So I think I paid 50 cents for this. But yeah, that's his rookie card, and I didn't forget to get the Carl Yastrzemski from my player run to show it for the '79 set. So those are the '79 cards that I have in my collection right now, and I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I had 8 of them, star cards wise. So, and I have the big card in the set, so this might not be too difficult to put together. But these are the cards that I did get. Probably, I don't know, maybe 50 cards or so. So Tony Salida. I'll show the back of a couple of these, but then move on. Next we have Dave Goltz. Well, I guess this one could be put in a penny sleeve and top loader, Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley. Great TTMer, but I think he's 20 per. That's really miscut. Look at that. Not so bad on the front. Definitely worse on the back. Next we have Fred Norman, but this one's got a wax stain right there. I've said it before. I don't mind wax stains. They kind of take me back to when I was a kid. Next we have Roger Erickson. I do miss wax packs. Next we have Rick Camp. Next we have Jesus Alou. Next we have Mike Paxton. Here's another Hall of Famer. This one's in pretty nice shape. Minor corner wear. Jim Cott. So there were a few cards in this little starter set that aren't too bad. Next we have Larry Wolf. Next we have Bruce Boyce Clare. Next we have Frank Tavares. Next we have St. Louis Cardinals team with manager Ken Boyer, who had a really good shot at getting in the Hall of Fame this year, but unfortunately was not elected. But, maybe one day he will. I think he's deserving. Next we have Bill Matlock, another nice player. Next we have Bob Beal. Shout out to Center Hill Cards, CHC. He will be doing the after party when this video completes. Hopefully I'll see everybody there. Next we have Willie Randolph. I believe his rookie was 76. He was a nice player. Next we have Vic Carell. Next we have Roy Hartsfield with the Blue Jays team. Next we have Lynn McLaughlin. Looks like you have the ivy of Wrigley Field in the background. Love that. Next we have Pedro Borbon. Saw his card in the 74 set, starter set. Next we have Juan Bernhardt. Next we have Rob Piccolo. Next we have Willie Wilson. This is earlier in his career. Second or third year. Nice player. Next we have Ken Clay. Next we have Manny Sanguillen. Another nice player. Go ahead and show the back. Left the Pirates for 1 year in 77. Next, we have Lance Parrish. I think this is his second year. Yeah, he was a nice catcher. Next, we have Gary Maddox, another nice player. Next, we have Fred Lynn, another nice player. Larry Cox. Harry Christensen. And here's the Pirates team card, again with Danny Murtaugh as the manager. And this is the team that would go on to win the World Series. 1979 Pirates, the We Are Family Pirates. So that's a cool card. Next, we have Tony Armas. Looks like his second year. Next, we have Paul Russell. It's probably Rick Russell's brother. Love the background on this one. Look at that. Next, we have Jim Umbarger. Next, Ken Holtzman. Pretty good pitcher. Next, we have Ken Forsch. Next, Jerry Royce. Next, we have Rod Gilbreth. Next, Pete Broberg. Just a few more cards to go. Next, we have Darrell Knowles. Next, we have Bob Horner, and I believe this is his rookie card. Again, shout out to CHC. Shout out to Zach Sports Cards and Collectibles. Bob Horner, one of the few players to have 4 home runs in one game. Fantastic player. Next, we have Jeff Newman. Next, we have Jim Norris. Next, Don Baylor, another fantastic player. Next, we have Kevin Bell. Just a couple cards to go, and they're both the same one. Ron Schuler. So, one duplicate, I guess. 686. So, not much of a starter set, but still better than nothing. And that's all I have for you this week. I'd like to wish everybody a happy holidays. Hope you get to spend some time with your family and friends. And yeah, so I'm actually recording this the day before. I normally do my videos the Saturday, the day of the spine ticks and the premiere. But I'm actually doing this on Friday this week because I am going to be doing my Christmas party tomorrow with my family. So I won't have time to be able to do the video then. So I'm doing this a day early. But I hope everybody has a great time with family and friends. And hopefully you enjoyed the video tonight. Until next time, thank you so much for the video. Thank you so much for watching the video. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.